Hello, welcome to my channel, The Ascension Guide. I'm your guide, Joe Martin. First of all, I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. By the time most people see this, it'll be pretty much going into the new year here. So Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody's year is abundant and everything that they're hoping for. All right, so today's message from Ariah is clean up the mess. So dig into that a little bit. First, we'll start with how I got the message originally. So went out to go run a few errands and came home and saw that my trash had been annihilated and spread all over my entire house by my three wonderful animals, my two dogs and my cat. And as I'm kind of standing there in disbelief, something like this hasn't happened since they were puppies, which is 10 years ago. Anyways, I'm standing there kind of in disbelief, and Ariah says to me, it's not going to clean itself up. And, I'm like, okay, I get it. Let's go clean this mess up. And so anyway, clean the mess up, did all that, whatever. And, went to do my meditation today, and Ariah came and said, did you, well, let me rephrase. As I went into my meditation, I went in asking, if there was any messages from Ariah or Jesus, and Ariah says, well, did you get the message from earlier? And I was like, what do you mean, clean up a mess? Like, how's that a message for people? And they're like, well, think about it, what's going on here? And as you're standing there and you're observing that, yes, there's this huge mess that needs to be cleaned up, and it doesn't go from observing mess to mess being cleaned immediately. It starts with one piece of trash, and then the next piece, and the next piece, and so on and so forth. And the biggest part of that is, well, there's two parts. The first is the identification of the mess, right? Knowing that there's a mess that needs cleaned up. And then the picking up the trash, the second part. So we identify the problems that we have in our lives. We know that they're there. And then the next part is to move towards fixing them. And we all have some mess in our life that needs cleaned up to move forward. And the other part of that is that I feel like a lot of us, and this is myself included too, in some ways, we're kind of sitting here through this whole ascension process, and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. We're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for somebody to do something. We're waiting for whatever it is, X, Y, and Z. And I think that this is kind of the message that we are the change in all of this. And, I kind of may have said something similar before, but this is happening based upon what we do. There's nobody coming to save us. There's nobody coming to change all of this. What is happening is we are identifying the problems, and now it's time to go into eliminating problems. And everybody has, like I said, their own mess that they have to clean up. And, in the more broad spectrum of things here, as far as society goes, and some of these messes that are arising and cropping up as of late, and we're identifying what they are, but it's time to start taking action and to move towards this new way of doing things that we're seeking out. We understand the corruption in the media and the politicians and government, and go on and on and on and on. We understand it. We've identified the problem. The next part of the problem is that we continue to be a part of that problem. And for some of you, this means being a part of, working for pharmaceutical companies, or doing something that doesn't align with who you are, truly who you are. It doesn't vibrate with your core. And, maybe that's part of your mess, is that you're doing things that are perpetuating the problem, and deep down that that's part of it, and that it's time to step into the unknown, into this next phase that everybody's kind of, going into with a little bit of trepidation, but excitement at the same time. Because it is kind of scary, we don't know what stands on the other side. We're stepping out into the darkness, so to speak, and, kind of trust falling that, things are going to be the way that we expect them to be on the other side. But, it takes two parts, and we have to do our part. We have to take the action. We have to identify the problems in our lives, and take the action to towards solving those problems. And, each one of us has our own way of doing things. Some of us are healers. Some of us are going to do it through music or through, Reiki or through song or through, um, all kinds of different, methods to help other people through this process, whether, different arts or however it is, however you contribute, however you help. Perhaps you're on the cutting edge of ways to solve environmental issues, whatever it is, whatever ideas that you have that are going to help propel us forward through this situation and into this next phase of, this fifth dimension that we're hoping for. We have to do our part. We have to take the action. We have to clean up the mess. So I think this is a kind of a cool, message going into the new year also, because it's kind of our, everybody's got this new year, new me type of thing going on. And I think this really gives us an opportunity to, kind of put our money where our mouth is and, identify the areas in our lives that need to be cleaned up, identify, the areas in the world that need cleaned up, and start to take that action towards doing something about it and creating a better environment for all of us. And I don't just mean, the environment, the trees and the water. I mean, the environment that you live in, your household. Do you have toxic people around you that you need to cut out of your life, and you know that it is what it is and you just need to do it? Is it something to that effect? Whether it's family or friends or whoever it is, it's now's the time to take the actions towards giving yourself the life that you've been after. Because nobody's coming to save us, right? We have to do it ourselves. Help. They're going to help us, but they're not going to come save us. The whole, and they, I mean, whatever other beings are assisting in this, ascension process, they're not going to come in here on a white horse and save us all. They're going to give us the guidance to do it ourselves, but we're going to have to take the action and put into practice the things that they tell us and how to do it. So, all right, everybody, I hope this message resonated with you. If it did, go ahead and give this a thumbs up down there. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would much appreciate you doing so. And, if you got something out of this message and feel that it could help somebody else, I would definitely appreciate you sharing. So thanks, everybody. Have a happy new year. Until the next video. Love and light.